So, ladies and gentlemen, please make the Minister for Mines, Energy and Petroleum very welcome, Bill Johnson.
Well, thanks very much. I'm very pleased to be back here at Australia's premier nickel conference. And I want to begin by acknowledging that we meet on the traditional lands of the Noongar people, and I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. I want to acknowledge Bill Repard and for his warm welcome and his invitation to attend. And I understand that this is the 27th edition of the Australian Nickel Conference, is the first one to proceed without Western areas because, of course, it's been absorbed by IGO. But one way or another, it just shows you the strength of the industry here in Western Australia. And I want to start by announcing something that the 2021-2022 financial year was Western Australia's record year for sales from the resources industry, with $231 billion of sales from our industry here in Western Australia, a $20 billion increase on the previous record set in the previous financial year, 2020-2021. So it just shows you how well things are going, and it's good to see that so many commodities are doing well at the moment. And the global forces are acting in our favour for once, which is very good. And of course, the reason that nickel's doing so well at the moment is because of the global ambition to fight climate change. And Western Australia is, in so many metals, including nickel, the crossroads for the global effort to decarbonise. We're a stable, ethical, cost-effective supplier for battery and critical minerals to the globe. And that's seen more than $9 billion of investments into our battery and critical minerals sector in the last 6 years. And I think that shows the confidence that people have in the way that we're managing the state's economy, the way that we're working with industry to provide a stable environment, and of course the entrepreneurial spirit that's so clearly demonstrated in the nickel industry. So the nickel industry has achieved almost $5 billion in sales in the last financial year, its highest value in almost 15 years. And of course, we've seen geopolitical issues contribute to rising prices, but there's also been strong demand. And the nickel sector employment has also again increased. And it's over 5% of Western Australia's resource industry employment is now directly employed in the nickel industry. We've also seen strong activity in the exploration sector, where people are frequently targeting nickel cobalt in their efforts. And last year we had $2.5 billion of investment into Western Australia's exploration sector, not only a record but also, and in fact, shows that Western Australia is now an increased share of national exploration effort. When I came to be Minister in 2017, our exploration sector was about half of Australia's total exploration activity, and it's now over 60% of national exploration activity here in Western Australia. And that includes $241 million last year into nickel cobalt exploration. Of course, China continues to be our largest customer, but we've also got good customers in Japan, South Korea and Norway to support our investment in the nickel sector. So we've seen this pivot in demand for nickel towards the manufacture of lithium-ion batteries, and it's seen a surge in our nickel developments here in this state. Of course, as everybody in this room would know, there's more nickel in a lithium-ion battery than there is lithium. And of course, it's so good that Western Australia is strong in lithium as well. But I'm told that for an electric vehicle battery has about 30 kilograms of nickel in it. Well, of course, we're very pleased to have seen Nickel West go downstream into nickel sulphate, and we're excited to think that they're examining whether they should do a second train to expand their nickel sulphate production. We've seen new mines coming on, and we're very pleased to see Oz Minerals' decision to invest $1.7 billion into the West Musgrave copper nickel project, which will see 1,500 construction jobs, an ongoing production workforce of 400, an expected annual average production of nickel of 28,000 tonnes. And also we're pleased to see that 80% of the energy for the West Musgrave project is targeted to be provided by renewable sources, and it shows the exciting opportunities that are currently going on here in Western Australia. And of course, we're very pleased to support downstreaming here in Western Australia. And I was proud to join BHP in opening of the formal opening of the nickel sulphate plant in October of 2021. And with 100,000 tonnes of capacity, that's enough to supply 700,000 electric vehicles each year. We've also seen Pure Battery Technologies planning to build a precursor cathode active material plant in Coolgardie, just outside Kalgoorlie, in the goldfields. Companies working closely with Poseidon Nickel on the project as the primary supplier of nickel. And it shows how we are able to integrate our upstream projects into the downstream global supply chains. We note that POSCO is the world's 4th largest steel producer and a leading integrated battery manufacturer, has taken a 30% stake in the FQM's Ravensthorpe project. We've noted the number of companies that are now entering into offtake agreements with upstream users of the product, including Tesla, Ford and others that are looking to invest directly in the industry here in Western Australia. So what are we doing to support the industry? And the first thing that we're doing is to continue to invest into the exploration incentive scheme. We increased the EIS from $10 million to $12.5 million each year. Half of that is available for co-funded drilling program. And of course, the IGO's Nova discovery was found with an EIS co-funded drilling campaign. We're also investing in the geoscience data transformation strategy, which is due to be completed in 2025, which will convert the enormous amount of data that the geoscience, the Geological Survey of Western Australia has, that's currently not available in a digital format. So the department advises me that they have twice as much data in analogue format than they do in digital format. So over the next 3 years, we'll be converting all that. So that means that we're tripling the amount of pre-competitive data that will be available to explorers. And you can see how that will make a big difference. We're investing $12 million into the WA Array project over the next 4 years, a 10-year project to provide passive seismic surveys over the entire state, one of the largest of its type in the world, to allow even more data to be available for targeting of exploration activity. We're doing what we can in the current Labor environment to resource up our approval system. And I'm pleased to say the Mining Amendment Bill 2021 was recently passed, and once we've been able to draft the necessary regulations, will mean that we'll be able to focus on high value activity in the department. So what will occur is that POWs will be automated, and so therefore the staffing resources that are currently being used to process POWs will be available to provide high value activity, approval activity in the department. And of course, we're also investing into the Minerals Research Institute of Western Australia and its important work in supporting research to assist the industry here in Western Australia. And I recently met with a number of the PhD students that are doing incredible work sponsored by Mirawa. And of course, one of the most exciting things that Mirawa is currently looking at is the mineral carbonisation roadmap, which will be released in February next year. It's currently being put together by Curtin University, and of course I acknowledge the support of BHP Nickel West and the initial research that was done by BHP Nickel West, and we're very excited to move down that pathway. This is a real opportunity to change the nature of Western Australia. If this mineral carbonisation can work in the way that we hope, Western Australia would become a carbon sink rather than a generator of carbon by utilising mine tailings for nickel, gold and potential lithium projects here in Western Australia to absorb carbon. So we look forward to that project being ready in February next year, and we'll indeed be looking for industry partners to support us in that project. Also want to briefly just mention the future battery and critical minerals industry strategy that we have here in Western Australia. It was launched in 2019 and it was updated in 2021. We continue to engage with industry to make sure that we understand the needs of industry and what the next steps are in going further down the value chain. Earlier this year in June, we released the industry prospectus to show the opportunity to global investors of the opportunity for investment into the midstream processing opportunities here in Western Australia. At the moment, we're also doing an analysis, effectively a pre-feasibility study, analysing all the key inputs and outputs required to capture more value here in Western Australia from these downstream opportunities. And we expect that work to be finished very soon, and working with the Future Batteries Industry Cooperative Research Centre and the work they're doing at the PCAM precursor chemical pilot plant at Curtin University gives a really good foundation for us to engage with investors globally about why Western Australia is the appropriate place to do their next investments. And this is a genuinely exciting opportunity, and you know, it's the logical location for the future processing of nickel and other materials here in Western Australia to add more value and capture a bigger role in the global battery space. So I look forward to working with everybody here at the conference. Western Australia is uniquely placed. We've got the technical capabilities, we've got the mining equipment technology and service companies, we have a skilled workforce, we have strong research and development opportunities, we have a solid regulatory environment so that end users can be confident that ESG standards are being met. And of course we have the entrepreneurial spirit that's demonstrated so clearly in the presentations at this conference. And so look forward to working with everybody here to make the industry stronger and take advantage of all the genuine opportunities that we have in this state. And thank you very much for the chance to speak.